In Ankara, President Erdogan stood before a sea of Turkish flags, his presence commanding the attention of thousands gathered to hear his words. The atmosphere was electric, charged with anticipation, as supporters waved banners and chanted his name, aware that something significant was about to unfold. His words signaled not just a policy change, but a historic shift in Turkey's identity and its place in the world. Erdogan's tone was resolute, his message unmistakable. "For decades we waited for the West," he declared, his voice echoing across the square. "But a great nation cannot remain in the waiting room of history." With these words, he challenged the very foundation of Turkey's long-standing alliances. The crowd erupted in applause and cheers, sensing a new direction for their country. Many felt a surge of national pride, believing that Turkey was finally taking control of its own destiny. Erdogan's speech was more than rhetoric. It was a declaration that Turkey was rethinking its alliances and reconsidering its future on the global stage. Turkish officials listened intently, aware that these words could mark the beginning of a new era. He spoke of a multipolar world, where Turkey would shape its own destiny, no longer waiting for Western approval or validation. Instead, Turkey would seek new partnerships and opportunities, forging its own path in a rapidly changing world. This message sent shockwaves through Brussels and Washington, where leaders had long viewed Turkey as a crucial bridge between Europe and the Middle East. Now they faced the reality of a Turkey willing to chart its own course, independent of Western influence. The idea of Turkey turning eastward, toward rival powers like Russia and China, was once unthinkable. Yet, Erdogan's words made it clear that the old certainties were fading and new possibilities were emerging. Now, Erdogan made it clear, Turkey was exploring new options and BRICS was at the top of the list. The prospect of joining this powerful bloc signaled a dramatic realignment, one that could reshape Turkey's economic and political future. This moment could reshape global power, challenging Europe's influence and raising urgent questions about NATO's unity and the future of Western alliances. The world was watching closely, aware that the balance of power might be shifting before their eyes. For Turkey, it's a bold gamble, seeking prosperity and autonomy, but also facing new risks and uncertainties. The stakes are high, and the outcome remains uncertain. The world watched, knowing these words would echo far beyond Ankara, shaping not only Turkey's future, but the future of global alliances for years to come. To truly grasp Turkey's recent pivot on the world stage, we need to look beyond its borders and understand the shifting global landscape it's navigating. At the heart of this change is BRICS, the bloc Turkey is now eyeing with growing interest as it seeks new alliances and opportunities. BRICS started out as a simple investment term coined by economists, but over the years, it has transformed into a formidable geopolitical force. Its core members, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have become increasingly influential on the world stage. These nations share a common goal: to reform a global system they view as dominated by Western powers, and to create a more balanced international order. To achieve this, they've established their own institutions, such as the New Development Bank and a $100 billion reserve fund, designed to rival the influence of the IMF and World Bank, and offer alternatives to developing countries. In recent years, BRICS has expanded rapidly, welcoming new members like Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia, broadening its reach across continents and cultures. Collectively, these countries now represent nearly half the world's population and command over a third of the global economy, making BRICS a major player in international affairs. This rapid expansion is fueled by a growing frustration among many nations with the current world order. They're seeking a louder voice, more equitable treatment, and greater influence in shaping global rules. BRICS is a diverse coalition, bringing together democracies and autocracies, rising economies, and established powers. Despite their differences, they are united by a shared desire for change and a more multipolar world. Of course, internal disagreements persist, especially between major players like China and India. Yet, the bloc's appeal continues to grow, drawing interest from countries across the globe. Over a dozen more nations, from Belarus to Kazakhstan, have joined as partners or observers, eager to be part of this emerging coalition. Today, BRICS stands as the leading challenger to Western dominance, attracting countries searching for alternatives and a new balance of power in the international system. Turkey's quest for EU membership is a saga of hope, reform, and disappointment. For decades, the country has looked westward, aspiring to join the European family and share in its prosperity and stability. Since 1959, Ankara has sought integration, modernizing its laws and economy to meet EU standards. Turkish leaders launched sweeping reforms, from improving human rights to liberalizing the economy, all in the hope of moving closer to Europe. Yet accession talks have stalled, blocked by concerns over Turkey's size, culture, and human rights record. Many in Europe worried about the impact of admitting such a large, predominantly Muslim nation, while others cited political and economic differences. Ankara felt the goalposts kept moving, fueling frustration and a sense of betrayal. Each time Turkey met a demand, new obstacles seemed to appear, deepening the sense that full membership was always just out of reach. Crises like the 2015 migrant deal deepened mistrust. As promised, visa-free travel never materialized. Turkey played a crucial role in managing the refugee crisis, but felt its efforts were not fully recognized or rewarded by the EU. Political tensions over democracy, maritime disputes, and foreign policy further eroded trust. Disagreements over Cyprus, energy exploration, and Turkey's internal politics made cooperation even more difficult. Today, Turkey remains a vital EU and NATO partner, but the dream of membership is dead. The relationship is now defined by pragmatism and necessity, rather than shared ideals. Stuck in limbo, economically tied to the West but politically excluded, Turkey is searching for new alliances. Its businesses and people remain deeply connected to Europe, but the political door is firmly shut. This disappointment is driving Ankara to seek respect and status elsewhere, forging new partnerships in Asia, Africa, and beyond, as it redefines its place in the world. With the EU door closed, BRICS offers Turkey a compelling and strategic alternative. Economically, BRICS markets are vast and growing, ideal for Turkey's export-driven economy, which seeks new opportunities. Diversifying trade beyond Europe could shield Turkey from Western downturns or disputes, ensuring economic stability. The new development bank promises investment for Turkey's ambitious infrastructure, with fewer strings attached than Western lenders typically impose. BRICS membership could also unlock Chinese Belt and Road funds and Gulf investment, boosting Turkey's growth. Strategically, joining BRICS would let Turkey balance East and West, gaining autonomy and influence on the global stage. Erdogan envisions Turkey as a central power, not a junior partner in international affairs. BRICS offers status and respect, a club of equals, not perpetual candidates, enhancing Turkey's global standing. For Ankara, full membership would be a diplomatic triumph and global validation of its ambitions. Despite interest and Russian support, Turkey's path to BRICS is blocked. After applying in 2023, Ankara was offered only partner status, not full membership, a bitter echo of its EU experience. Erdogan's absence from the 2024 summit spoke volumes. India leads the opposition, wary of Turkey's close ties to Pakistan and support for its stance on Kashmir. Tensions spiked after accusations that Turkey supplied drones to Pakistan. China is also cautious, uneasy about admitting a NATO member into an increasingly anti-Western bloc. Turkey's unpredictable foreign policy and military interventions add to concerns. BRICS values stability and consensus. Turkey's dynamic approach could disrupt that. For now, the door to full membership is closed, with expansion paused after 2024. Turkey's BRICS ambitions are on hold. Turkey's BRICS overtures have alarmed Washington. As a key NATO ally, Turkey's shift toward China and Russia is deeply troubling for the US. President Trump's administration has threatened tariffs, 10% for BRICS members, 100% if a rival currency emerges. This economic pressure forces Turkey to weigh BRICS benefits against the risk of a trade war. Turkey's economy is tightly linked to Western markets. US sanctions could be devastating. Ankara is caught between maintaining Western ties and seeking new partnerships in the East. The balancing act is growing harder as the world polarizes. US pressure may have influenced BRICS to limit Turkey to partner status. Sooner or later, Turkey may have to choose a side. Turkey's pivot is a warning for the EU, a sign its influence is fading. The EU's slow politicized enlargement has created a vacuum, now filled by BRICS and rival powers. If Turkey, a longtime partner, can turn away, others in the Balkans and Eastern Europe may follow. This risks fragmenting Europe's periphery and undermining its vision of unity. The EU must rethink its approach, offering clearer paths to integration or risk losing ground. Turkey's move is part of a global shift to multipolarity. Europe faces a choice: adapt and act, or be sidelined as new alliances form. Turkey's story is a test case for the continent's future. Where Turkey goes, others may follow. The world is watching.